Hello, family. Hello, children of the light, masters of a great destiny, of an massive evolutionary phase that we're about to enter. Already entered, already here, already accomplished on a quantum level. The importance of deep, sincere gratitude for all that we've been given, all that we've accomplished, how far we've come. That sincere journaling gratitude, 10, 12 things every day in the morning that you're sincerely grateful for. In the evening also. We don't want to block our blessings by forgetting the gratitude of all we've accomplished, how far we've come, all the good things that have happened for us, that have blessed us and nurtured us and cared for us and protected us and blocked negativities and dysfunctions and transgressions and our own potential mistakes, stepping into the wrong, this, that, or the other. We're always being looked over, watched, protected, guided, every step of the way. This is, the greatest lifetime. This is the greatest phase of the lifetime because we're entering the higher consciousness level, dimension at this point, at this moment, that nothing, we call in the highest level guidance that nothing can disturb, dissolves all discordant energies. The violet fire, Archangel Michael's sword of truth. Cord cutting ceremony, Archangel Michael. Doing your practices, the ones that you know, and the ones that continue to come to you. But it really takes being in the moment. It really takes some deep breaths. It really takes some quiet, calm, concise care, comfort, concern for your for your highest well-being. And of course, we're always thinking of others, those of us that are people. That's just what we do because we were created this way. The world tried to steer us outward and away, and disturbances, illusions, lower vibrations, control games. Those times when we were maybe on the fence. Many of us have been through that phase where we were coming out of the mind control, the hypnosis of the ages, and we were still caught in materialism or illusion, dysfunction, or ego gratification, lower level desires as an addiction, as an addictive nature, behavioral patterns. And then we started finding our way to growth. We started finding our way that there was more that going on. We started having dreams, visions, knowings. Even particular movies or books could spark us. And we started that awakening process. And sometimes we continue to go back to that. We get up to where we are, and then sometimes we have to go back to what the Zen Buddhists would call beginner's mind and learn again. Be that innocent baby, child, infant, quiet, still voice, still mind, the everything and nothing, or the the emptiness, fullness, the circle, and the dot in the center, the symbol of that. And then life throws these waves at you, these curveballs, these, just when you think you're doing real good, and to drop you down, or to go back, or your heart gets broken, or you get tempted into some kind of career that was really not of your spirit's calling, but of your desire for the big bucks, or the prestige, or the, I call it money, power, ego, and sex, addictions. Money, power, ego, and sex. And yeah, we're going to have that continually. But when we raise ourselves up into the higher echelon, I call it, of prayer, of purity, perfection, illumination, that where the masters reside, that where the angelics reside, that's where the purity of the Mother Earth's nature, natural, elemental kingdom is purity. The colors of nature are the real colors are vibrations of the sun, emanations of the sun. So when you honor and love that nature and walk out there barefooted on that grass, or you breathe in that wind, or you're with that fire and that sacred water, you shake your head off from the cobwebs in your head of what you just went through, or the temptations, or the illusions, or the feeling bad, or in your body, and things not going right, and your losses, and you start feeling sorry for yourself. And you start saying, oh shoot, happened again. The old patterns of behavior, the loops. That's the crucial moment where we have to have what my grandfather, Lakota grandfather Wallace Black Elk, would say, the teachings on the peace pipe: courage, patience, endurance, and love, and alert. Those things you need to have: courage, patience, endurance, love, and alertness. You need to be a warrior. You need to be impeccable for yourself. You need to know what's going on at all times. A hyper vigilant awareness. And the life's test will put you in that. But it's not a frying of your nervous system type. It's only saying no. No. You know it's from your guidance. You know it's from the Creator. You know it's a tool. It's development within your psyche, within your kundalini, within the rising of your power from your base chakras up into your heart, into your third eye, into your crown, into who you really are. Calling in, calling back, calling in the higher self, the mighty I am presence, the spark in our heart and above, calling it in at your prayer time, in your quiet time, in that moment of breathing and quiet and stillness, of humming, of singing, of toning, or you just love yourself. You love all creation. And with eyes closed is our inner reality. Open the eyes, you're in the outer appearance world. The ancient adepts called it the outer appearance world. That is full of imperfection. But the inner world, we go into that deep, we go into that, we take ourselves into that quantum space. Whatever exercises you need to go in the alpha, theta states. Frontal occipital hold. Put the left hand on the front, the right hand on the back, and you breathe a few times. Blow it out. It brings you back into present time. Also, keeping the tongue on the roof of the mouth while you're meditating is another way to keep you in present time. And so we become here into the quantum nowness. And these stages of initiations that we go through as we grow in these steps, climbing that spiral, not climbing, just drifting or imagining and expanding ourselves into a higher perspective reality of peace and plenty and calm and harmonious and gentleness. And when we write, just let free-flowing writing, it always goes positive. You know, if you got any stuck stuff, maybe that'll come out for a minute, and then right after that, you're like, all these beautiful things that we really are. Bypasses the critical thinking mind and goes right into the creative flow of the left brain, or eventually the two hemispheres of the brain come together, corpus callosum, left brain, right brain, crown chakra, higher mind. And we open it up, let the energy flow up and around like a torus field, flowing like a fountain down to our root again and back up, root again. We're calling back our lost, lone, or stolen parts. We're calling back, remembering where we came from, whom we belong to, whom we truly serve. And we build that meditation and these affirmations and this sacred power of your spirit, of the ego that's in your heart, the majesty of the highest quality emanations from the highest dimensional expressions, that we are also that also. So we call it down. My one friend, meditation teacher, would say, call in your fully awakened future self. And remember, you know, and this is you, I'm talking about when you get caught in something, when you get down and you're deep and you're suffering and you get tempted to go drinking and or drinking a lot, not just, but overdoing things. Or you go back to an old mate or an old lover that was just, you know, basically habitual. And it's exciting at the moment, and then afterwards you're like, why don't I let that all go? That person anyways. And call something beautiful and new and fantastic and a higher vibrational person to me. Call somebody that's whole and complete back to myself. You know? And sure, some of these things take time, because it's like peeling an onion. There's layers. And every time, but remember, every time you recircle again around something, you're at a higher, if you're working on yourself, you're at a higher octave. You know, it could be just a little bit, but you're spiraling, gradually spiraling upward. And at one point, you're just, because you're doing that, and you're doing that on a regular basis, let's say every day, it's 21 days or 30 days to change a bad habit. It also takes 21 or 30 days to stop a bad habit, to instill new, and to stop the old. You know, if it's tobacco, if it's bad food, junk food, sugar. Yeah, it appears a little more challenging to not do it for 30 days, you know. But that's where we get down and we remember, oh my God, the hard times. We remember where we came from. We remember the shit and the mud that we've been in. We say thank you. We get it back to our gratitude list. We say thank you, God, thank you. I remember. Remember, there's a dividing line. I call it the fence. In the Bible somewhere it says, everyone who sits on the fence, that God is going to rattle that fence. Going to rattle it. Which way are you going to fall? Which way are you going to leap? Which way are you going to let go? Empty-handed and leap into the void and expand yourself into. Which way? Because there's a lot of trickery out there. There's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of devils that are certainly willing to pull you right back in. And there are times as you reach certain levels, they're sent in. They're sent in to bring you back down. Some of us who've gone to the really higher levels that we have had dark lifetimes and light lifetimes. And why? Because so we could help people, bringing them all the way to the ascension, the transfiguration, resurrection, and ascension in this lifetime through the awakenings that actually would try to pull people into the dark side, pull you there, get you in the dream state sometimes to try to get you to make commitments and contracts and sign things and get involved. So anyways, you've got to know that that fence exists, and that fence is usually when that wavering place between, right? We used to think we could do all these things, we could watch all these horrible TV and violence and negativity, and but we could go, we could get back in church, and we could do ceremony, and we could do prayer time, and we could balance that out. And the masters are saying, no, no more, no more. It's too subtle a game. The stakes are too high. You got to get your little butt in the light and stay there. You got to call on that little monk and nun within you, that little priest or priestess, that little angelic, anointed, ascended master aspect within yourself, angelic, and say, hey, I need to get here and stay here. Because when you're young on your path, you're we've been so programmed from this world, this outer world, outer appearance world, that to do lazy things, gaming and movies and this and that, and just hang out in your slippers and drink on the weekends or whatnot, and comfort zone, comfort foods, especially in America. We're not really a very spiritually based country, such as India and many Buddhist countries. Most of the old cultures, like Native Americans and indigenous people of the world, they lived by that. They knew the dangers. They knew that there's a shadow side. They knew there was the shamanism, light and dark, and it was everywhere. And you had to. It wasn't superstition. It was like you have to stay in your own lane. You have to walk that edge, that light, that highest frequency you can. And I've heard an elder say that the cleaner you get, the easier it is to get dirty. And so you go through these tests, you go through these trials, you go through these broken hearts, you go through these expectations. You're sure ready to get that job, and you had a plan, everything, you visualized manifestation for months, and everything's ready to go. And then they call you in and they say, we think you got it. Next morning they say, we gave it to somebody else. And you're fucking pissed. You're hurt. You're crying. You're just, what the? Or a relationship with a person. Whatever the expectations, we can do our manifestation practices all day and visualizations, and yeah, you put that out there all right, but then it's like a prayer. You have to let that prayer go. Give it to God. Give it to your I am. Give it to the light. Say if it's meant to be. If not, God has something better for me. One door closes, many other doors open. So we go back to that prayer. We knock, the door shall be open. We ask and we shall receive. Metatron, in his book, channel book, The Clarion Call, he says, you take one step towards us, we take 1,000 towards you. The guides are everywhere, we know that. You just have to sit down. Your mother would say, don't sit there, don't just sit there, do something. But your meditation teacher would say, Don't do something, just sit there. In a very educated way, in a very concentrated way, in a very refined way. You know, you practice your techniques, watching your breathing till you go into the void. You're watching, eventually watch that gap between the thoughts. You know, you can say silent, silent, stillness, over and over. Silent, silent, stillness. You can say conscious expansion, expansion of consciousness. Conscious expansion, expansion of consciousness. Conscious expansion, expansion of consciousness. Just that divine, divine word of consciousness. If you think about it, that word, consciousness. It's so expansive. It's like everything and nothing. It's like, it's fullness. It's the oneness with everything that exists. And as you get yourself expanding even more, you can say, expansive, boundless, infinite. Expansive, boundless, infinite. Expansive, boundless, and infinite. And when you're in that deep place, you're in that alpha, theta state, going into the gamma, even higher plasma, even higher, or photonic than plasma, you forget all your worries. You start feeling that bliss. You start feeling that bliss. You start feeling that bliss. Inner tranquility. Exquisiteness. You can get quiet and rest yourself in that place for a while. And then you can be active. The minute your mind starts to wander into thoughts, you catch it. No judgment, you just notice it. And what brings you back instantly is watching your breathing. All of a sudden, observe the breathing. The breathing is autonomic nervous system. It's nothing you have to do. It happens automatically. So you're observing that breathing. My sinuses are low clogged. And so you're watching that breathing. And I'll just affirm, my sinuses are beautiful. I am the perfect breath of oxygen through my sinuses. I'm the perfect flow of oxygen and breath through my lungs and windpipe. I'm the perfect oxygenated breath within my diaphragm and all of my 50 trillion cells. I fill myself with the light of the prana, of the mana, of the chi that's in the air. It's in the electrons that are pouring through us, supposedly trillions and trillions of electrons that flow through us every day. And that's really mana from heaven. It's really prana, life force. There's so much more to air than just what we think. There's more to oxygen, and we just intend it, and it creates that. It's like blessing your water. Dr. Emoto's work, um, Lessons of Water, or whatever his book was called. That whatever we put into water, whatever we put into, we bless everything. We can transform McDonald's food into at least manageable in our system, at least neutral, you know, instead of being poison. And so you're blessing, you're blessing, you're blessing. Why? Because you are the I am. The I am. The spark of God lives in you. The Christ light, the golden man in the heart, the golden Christ man in the heart. Breathe it into your whole body. It becomes you. And the aura, the torus field around you is filled with a golden white light. Golden white light. It gets brighter and brighter and brighter. It's dazzling. It's bright as the noonday sun. Like sunlight on diamonds. You call it down from the heavens, from the ascended masters. I call down the ascended master's octave of perfection. I call down the ascended master's octave of perfection. I call down the ascended master's octave of perfection into everything I do, every aspect of my life. What I'm about to do next, this video, the gym, my sleep time tonight, right before sleep, my day tomorrow, the roads I'm going to travel, my job, my relationships, my children, my family, those prayers. So that mana prana chi that's turned into this amazing glowing light, which is your life force multiplied times 1,000 through the master, ascended master's octave of perfection, the Elohim, the through the spark fire of our heart, archangels, from starting with the I am presence, Christ consciousness, cosmic Christ, divine mother, elemental kingdom, Devic kingdom, which is like angelic cosmic beings and great cosmic light. Fully awakened future self. The multidimensional quantum isness. And then you do whatever feels right. I like to say, I call back all the lost, low, stolen parts. I call back to myself. I dismantle on every level anything lower dimensional aspects of myself, that pattern behaviors that I don't need anymore. On every level, every dimension, every timeline. Imprint, attempted overlay. Back into the nothingness from which it came. I neutralize. I nothingize. I zero point. And then I re-encode with I am presence, Christ consciousness, divine mother, holy creator God. I ask that the highest version of myself, my highest potential, my highest trajectory, my highest timeline, come online for me now. And any messages that I need to know, all that I need to know in this moment, show to me on the screen, the cosmic screen of consciousness in front of me, in blazing colors, in blazing letters. That which I need, what my needs are. Show me what my needs are. Show me what I need to know. And show me the information I need to know. In blazing letters on this cosmic screen in front of me. And then you go into receiving. If it comes consciously, it comes consciously. If it doesn't, it comes into your cells, into your soul, into your... You're going to know. You're going to know real soon. I just give you these options. Different potential. You could just do one of these if you liked it. None of them. You got your own. You could do them all if your mind's active and you need... By the time you do all those, you're going to really be calmed down. And so you listen, you ask your guidance, your intuition, learn to hear it, the voice, small, still voice, the I am presence. I cast a burden to you. I am presence, I adore thee. I know you take care of all my outer requirements, therefore thy will be done, not mine. Take the wheel, higher self. And check with yourself. Just keep checking with yourself. With your I am. With your spirit, your higher self. What? Spirit, what? What should I do? What? I'm confused. Take this. Take this worry. Take this issue. I'm not going to deal with this. This is for you to deal with. Because you are God within me. You know, you have all the answers. Omnipotent, omniscience, all-knowing, all-powerful everywhere. And everything's going to fall into place. 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 Because it already is. Every test, trial, tribulation cleanses out the old and prepares us for the new, even if it's a little bit chaotic and challenging. Out of chaos comes order. Out of confusion comes clarity. Sometimes we have to have a breakdown before we have a breakthrough. You can't have a testimony without the test. So all things are part of the whole. You know, the dark feeds the light. The light transforms the dark. It's the mud. No mud, no lotus. It's the fuel. It's the fertilizer for the plants. It's the wood for the fire. Alchemy. When you get attacked, when you get slandered, when you get the job you're about to get taken out by somebody else that was doing some shady behavior to get it, etc. And you feel that in your guts, you feel that in your heart, and you feel slammed to the turf. That's when you go into these places of the deep meditation, the deep purity and silence, and you say, I am presence, higher self, God, Christ within, take over. I cast the burden. I can't deal with this. You have to deal with it. Not only, we're supposed to do that with everything. Check with them before and give thanks for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I am presence. I love you more, 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 more with every wave I send. I love you infinitely more with every wave I send. I love, I love, I love, I love you. God, self. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you more with every wave I send. I thank you infinitely more with every wave. I thank you for everything. And you ultimately must surrender your pain, your disappointment, your lack, your suffering, your comparison, your lost job, your lost relationship, your expectations, your pissed offness, your ego, your control dynamics, your money lust, your ego, power, sexual gratification, lust, or this is what fixes me. This is what balances me out. This is what works for me. This is what... And yeah, but it's temporary, especially with the lust. You think about those partners. How many partners are you connecting into? You know, the adepts of the East, ancient Eastern ways say, you court somebody, you courted for 7 years. It's like, oh damn. And women teachers, I've heard it said, Sandra Rollus, Rollus, on YouTube, is an amazing teacher for women. She does all this womb healing work, and she says that the memory of every man that a woman's been is imprinted in the womb. And so you gotta do some work, some exercises, some work to, let that go and release. So not that it's good or bad, it's just chords are chords, and that's at a very elemental level. Sex is a very core level of the root chakra and all. And the intention of procreation, I mean, that's all power. That's all incredible in the high amounts of energy that are created there. So you have to be very careful in that area, and you can't just throw that around, because you don't know, even if if you're married and all that, you know what the people are doing and thinking and what they're consuming or not consuming, and that's good. But if you don't know what your sex partner's been doing, very, very, it's a little bit risky for the spiritual soul, the rising, awakening adept. Now, I happen to believe in and really have a profound affinity to tantric sexuality, and that is basically the deep sensual affection, intimacy with your loved one, but moving that energy the whole time, becoming a ceremony, every part of it. I like the candles and the incense and all the music and all that, but you're moving that energy through your chakras, up the chakras. You're moving it, and you're bringing it certain ways through each other, into the heavens, into the earth, into the heavens, into the earth. You're moving it through every cell, and this is how both partners could eventually, especially women, could learn to have full body orgasms, and cosmic orgasms, and travel the universe. It's like fueling a rocket ship, turning on the boosters. But you got to know what you're doing and do some studies and do some real good research on that. And if you know, you know. If you're that kind of soul, you're that kind of soul. And so that's fun. I just say be careful, especially if people are drinking. Open yourself up. In drugs, you open yourself up to lower vibrational energies, and God forbid, you don't want that coming out of that. So, well, I don't know why it led into that, but it did. So, but I love you. It's beautiful. It's all beautiful. Every bit of it. Emotional, feeling world, mental world, spiritual world, etheric, and physical. They call them the 4 lower bodies, need to be harmonically balanced, like a 4-leaf clover, like a medicine wheel. Peace and plenty in all your endeavors. I wish, I pray, courage, patience, endurance, and love. And know that the tests are strengthening you, expanding your spiritual muscles, so that you can absorb more, so you can handle more, so you can be more, so you can become more, so you can embody more. And so I'm glad to help you in all the ways the roads I've been down, and the studies and the trainings and the endless ceremonial hours, days, months, and years that I've fasted and prayed and learned these, expanded my energy systems. Love you.